Good evening, race fans. Urban Pirate here with Black Flag TV. It's Sunday night, which means we are back to the Lithuanian GR3 Championship. And what a championship this has been so far. We are on round 9. There is literally 2 races to go before we decide who is the single best Lithuanian driver in GT7. And it's been hotting up. It really has been hotting up. Got to the middle point of the competition, and Wendigo was running away with it. Hello, Arminis, how you doing, buddy? Have a good race, man. And then all of a sudden, from nowhere, comes Simonas, comes Laisvidas, chucking in lap after lap of crazy quickness. And it's all starting to mix it up a little bit. So today, 24 laps around this racetrack here. This is Suzuka. We are just waiting for the room to be ready, which I'm sure will be very, very soon. So let's have a quick look at today's track, which is Suzuka. Not a big fan of this track, I'm not going to lie, but it's really cool to watch and it's not very fun to drive. You've got to feather your throttle through here. You can't just go flat out on the power when you feel like it, because these S's are really, really complicated. You need to kind of up and down on the throttle, work your way through them. Obviously depending on the car you're driving. But once you've got through the S's, you then go into this long sweeping left-hander. You're on the power all the way around that big sweeping left-hander, up to this right-hander. Take this then, about second, third gear, and again you've got another big right-hander here. Then you go up under the bridge and you're on the power up to what is a very, very tricky hairpin at the top of this hill. Get to the top of the hill, then get that round that hairpin. You've got to be careful there, getting on the power. You go too much past that AstroTurf and you are in big big trouble, my friends. Big trouble. Then you are up the hill, under the two signs, round this sweeping curve, and then you've got a kind of double apex corner here. It is two corners, but it's almost like a double apex left-hander. Where you work your way through, and then you've got a very, very long straight, and the slipstream here is very strong. If you get out of those turns within a couple of tenths of the car in front, you will be able to use that slipstream to get your way around and ahead before little lift to come around here. We did Super Formula in this a couple of days ago, and you can actually go, yesterday in fact, and you can do that flat out in a Super Formula car. Then into the Casio chicane. 3 left, right, left, right. Then you're on the power to go and complete another lap at Suzuka. It's that simples, pretty much. That simples. So there's your track guide for Suzuka. Relatively simple, not too much to worry about. We're waiting for a few more to jump in the room before qualifying will begin. Same format, nothing's changed. It will be as it is. 24 laps we've got here, and it's really hotting up. So let's have a look at the current standings. Just to say, actually, we've got Laisvidas, who's running in 5th and has won every race since they've joined this competition. He's on holiday today, so won't be racing. So everyone around is going to breathe a sigh of relief. In terms of penalty points, we've got one person who is a point away from getting a qualifying ban. So actually, we've made it almost to the end of the season without any problems. There's the current rankings there in the bottom right-hand corner. Just shows you where everyone falls within that ranking system. But surprised that Laisvidas is not much higher up that list, to be fair. But it is what it is. But here we go. So, Wendigo sorted out his car for the Mazda RX Vision. He won the first 2 races, finished in the top 3 until round 5. Hasn't been able to do that since. His lead at the top of the leaderboard has been cut to just 7 points. At one stage, he was way out in front. But that's now been cut to 7 points. Simonas has been very, very quick. So it's going to be a very interesting run-in for the last couple of races. I do want to check something because I'm struggling with some output sound at the moment. I don't know why I'm struggling with output sound. So Guy is also still in there. Guy's running in 3rd place, 30 points back. Needs to have a really, really good performance today. That's going to make a massive difference if he has a good performance today and can close that gap a little bit. That's the ideal anyway. But it is what it is. So, King Bob, still very viable for a top 3. Laisvidas, not racing today, is on holiday, but still very viable for a top 3. As is Rolles. Rolles is looking, he's been very, very steady in that midfield, sitting on 84 points, 6th place. It's only going to take one good result in the next couple of races, and you will find him in that, or in and around that top 3. So still all to play for everybody. But not much, that's it. There's not much else to say, really. It is what it is. And we'll see how everyone gets on over the next 24 laps, which is coming up soon. So we're just waiting for... No, it looks to me like I've got a little bit of a problem here. Hold the line, Connor, I've got a technical issue. Qualifying has started. I will be moving in a sec. I've got a bit of an issue with game sounds coming through at the moment. They don't seem to be projecting for some strange reason. I've got everything connected. But I will be back in a sec once I've worked out what the hell is going on. Still trying to solve this problem. Just a quick, we'll bring up the rankings so you can see where everyone's going in terms of qualification. It has obviously started qualifying. This is what we want online. ID nicknames, there we go. So Simonas out in front at the moment with BRZ. Just trying to still solve this. So if I do go silent, it's just me trying to solve this problem with the game sounds not coming through. Bear with me. Cannot find a reason for these sounds not coming through. I'm still working on it, but we're going to have to get on with the racing for now because it was working about 20 minutes ago, so it's just decided to stop and give up the ghost for me. Can't quite work out why that is. I've checked all my cables, checked all my connections, but it is what it is. So apologies for the lack of game sounds today. If I can work it out while we're on air, I will do. Otherwise, you just have to hear me going brum, brum, brum in the background. In fact, what I could do, if I turn my sound up, you can have it in the background like that. How about that? And I will solve the problem another time. So I'm sure you can just hear it in the background now. This is how we're going to have to do it. I cannot solve it for the time being. So apologies for that. Right, so let's have a look. Where are we at? What is going on with that? It was working perfectly yesterday and early hours in the morning. So Simonas 157.2. That's a really, really quick lap. MT96 157.4. So looking really, really quick is MT96. Wendigo, he's the man who really, really needs a big finish today. Needs to finish ahead of Simonas, or at least staying within touching distance. Has done a 157.6 so far. Has switched to that Mazda RX Vision. I know it was a good choice for Monza. I'm still not convinced it's that great a car anywhere else. I still think the Porsche 911 is the better bet. But we've seen what Laisvidas can do with this car, so there's no telling what others can. So, and we know that our very own G-Mac is pretty damn quick in that European Mazda. Paz Kozas currently is 4th fastest, 158.7. So look at the difference. The top 3, sub 158. Everybody else hasn't got that far yet. There's 1.1 seconds difference between the pace of Wendigo and the pace of Paz Kozas right now. Daniel D going very, very slowly there. He's in the GTR, which is a really interesting choice of car. Do love that car, to be fair. 159.1 is his best lap so far. Bear in mind, he is the reigning champion. So not going to retain that championship this time out. There is Guy. He changed out from the 911 also to that Mazda RX Vision. And proved to be a very, very popular car. So Gudrazo 159.1 is his best lap so far. He is within a really, really good outside chance of stealing something in this championship. Talking of stealing, we're going to get on to somebody who is a bit of a thief. And some of you Lithuanian guys will know him. The guy that runs the old racing club, GR3, what is now DSR, I think it is a thief. He took £70 sponsorship off of a member recently and proceeded to then lock him out and block him. Lock him out of the group and block him. So just to make you aware of the sort of man that little worm is. So if we look at the current championship table, or I'm going to look at the current championship table, Simonas is only 7 points behind Wendigo. So the only hope Wendigo has got of making sure that Simonas cannot overtake him is, obviously finishing ahead of him it would be the perfect scenario. But if he can finish just 1 place behind him in the next 2 races, that would be enough to just stay ahead and win the championship. The question is, can he do that? There are other fast guys around. Guy might have something to say about that. He's 30 points back from Wendigo, but it only takes one big win, a 25-pointer, and Wendigo have a bad race. And bearing in mind that Wendigo was on the podium in every race until race number 6. Race number 6 comes along and drops out. Been a better result in race number 7. Had an awful race last week. Only 6 points from last week's race. So that has really brought everyone into the mix with him. So Guy with the fastest lap last week, which boosts his point tally as well. So we've got Simonas 8 points behind now. Simonas finishes 4 or 5 places above Wendigo. He will take the lead in this championship today. And then going into the last race, then it is really down to him to just finish first. King Bob just outside that top 3, 116 points for him. He's only 2 behind Gudrazo. He'll want to finish ahead of him. That's King Bob there, MT96. He switched out to the GTR as well. So looking for that full-on straight line speed. Very surprised that he ditched the AMG. The AMG was a phenomenal motor car. But he did switch it out, and there he is. He's just 2 points off the top 3 in this championship. Then Laisvidas, of course, not racing today. He's away on holiday. Laisvidas has been super quick. Didn't race in the first 4 races of this season. Then got first. Made it 4 out of 4. He's not going to be able to make it 5 out of 5 because he's not racing today. And that will be music to the ears of everybody in that top 4. Because today, if they can finish in the top 4 of this race, they will make the gap so big that he cannot knock them off that perch. So they will be very, very keen to have a strong finish here and prevent Laisvidas from being the fly in the ointment, the spanner in the wheel. Yeah, do you know what? I kind of miss him not being here because I think it would have really mixed it up at the top. Because we've got a couple of different kind of races going on here. I mean, Laisvidas could have, it'd be a big ask to have raced the last 2 races, won them both, and been there or thereabouts for the top 3. But I think we've got a couple of really, really good different races on the racetrack. I mean, for King Bob, his priority has got to be racing Guy. Obviously, you want to finish as high as you can, but he needs to beat Guy. That's the key for him. And at the moment, he is several seconds faster. Guy can't do better than a 159.1. whereas King Bob there 157.4. So he's a significantly faster here at Suzuka. So it's going to be interesting, that battle. Then we've got Wendigo Simonas battle. Wendigo currently 157.6 to 157.2, so 4/10 slower. But his Wendigo's battle isn't really with MT96 and Gee. Although you know he'd like to beat them, he needs to make sure that he stays in touch with Simonas. So if Simonas finishes first, he wants to finish second to minimise the point deficit going into the last race. I mean, essentially all Wendigo has to do to win this championship is finish one place behind Simonas in the next 2 races, and then it's guaranteed he can't be caught. Unless, of course, Simonas finishes in plumb last place, or second to last place, then there might be a bit of an issue with King Bob. But I can't see that happening. Let's be brutally honest. But it's an interesting run into the end. I mean, we've got even if we look further down the order in the midfield, if you look from sort of Dariukas, or sort of say Fizrukas in 7th on 77 points, down to Pazkozas in 10th, for instance, on 66. That's one good race to make that difference. And we can even go as far down as Shady. I think he's here. I've seen Shady. Where is Shady? Or maybe Shady's not here. So 8 minutes to start. We'll go through the qualifying order in a minute. So if we look at Shady, who switched to the Aston Martin GR GT1 car, he's sitting 13th on 56 points. If he has one good race, which won't be today because he's not here, he could potentially jump up 4 or 5 places. So it really is all to play for in the championship at the moment. And lots of different battles across this racetrack. So this is the current running order. Front row will be Simonas with a 157.2, joined by King Bob MT96 with a 157.4. Wendigo currently on row 2, 157.6, has got Gidrazo for company. So Gidrazo staying in the mix there in the European Mazda. 157.8 for him. Row 3, Paz Kozas with a 58.0. And reigning champion Daniel Stig, only reigning champion for 2 more races. And then it's all over for him. They're on row 3, both with low 158s. Arminis and Timosius, both on row 4. 158.4 and a 158.5, very similar in pace. Rollins Fizrukas on row 5. Good finish for Rollins. They could put him in challenging distance of that top 3. Excuse me. Fizrukas and Dariukas, there they are. 10th and 11th. Sorry, Dariukas and Laisvidas, they are 10th, 11th and 12th on the grid, should we say. 159.5, and then Laisvidas and the rest are over 2 minutes. Audriox 2:01.2. Can't see Mr. J's times. Mr. J had a really good credit where it's due. He had a really good race last week. Certainly moved up a lot further up the order than he has been previously. But currently 2.9 seconds slower, so that would put him in there second to last at the moment, just after Dariukas. So 14 runners this evening. Simonas is the fastest man on track. He has done a 157.231. That's a very, very quick lap there, particularly at GR3. MT96 57.4, and they've done this in the early laps and not been able to improve on it, and that's going to have a lot to do with pushing to get that extra 10th here and there. And it's really hard when you could put in a good solid time. It is hard to shave off a 10th here and there. Just get the drink on board. Wendigo, there he is in 3rd place. Yeah, good luck. He doesn't need much luck at the moment. He's been running really well as Simonas, but I'm sure he'll appreciate the well wishes. There is the current championship leader, Wendigo. He is currently sitting on row 2. 157.6 is his time. He hasn't got a lot to make up. He's a half a second back from Simonas. So, a 10th on every corner, or a 10th on every other corner would be more than enough. Gidrazo is going to be side by side with him. Now, the interesting thing here, they're both in the same car. Originally they were both in the Porsche 911, but they're both in the same car again. It's going to be a very, very tight battle between those two. The irony at the moment is that you've got Simonas is racing Wendigo, MT96 is racing Guy, and they've got cars in between them with different fights. The fight behind for the king of the midfield is still very, very tight. Any one of those, from Paz Kozas right down to Fizrukas can put a claim on that king of the midfield, which is going to be another interesting battle. But we know the drill here. 24 laps, qualified to be over in about 5 minutes. Damage is on, so if you do things like that, you will have to go and repair your car, and it could be to your detriment if that happens. I mean, it only takes one, and if you want to see just how badly it can affect you, watch the GT Champion stream from last night where the damage is on full. There was a couple of drivers who were bang on, nailed on outside bets to win that race, and a couple of early crashes absolutely kept them away from a win. Even the guy in first place, one cock up, he was 20 seconds clear. He made one cock up, damaged his car, had to repair it. To be fair, he didn't. He carried on driving it with the damage and got caught and ended up not even finishing in the top 3. So it just goes to show that sometimes just go a little bit slower and don't damage your car, and you might be in a very good position. But there's one man here. There's the man. He does not go slow. He doesn't know slower. He just knows quick, and that's Simonas. Currently 1:57.0, his fastest lap. He did improve on his earlier offering of 57.2. Will we see a sub 57 lap in qualifying here? MT96 with a 3-second penalty. He improved as well, did a 1:57.1. So very, very briefly was on pole for all of about 5 seconds. Wendigo 1:57.4 has improved on his previous best, and that gives him almost half a second cushion to Guy, who's done a 57.8. Nobody else sub 58 at the moment. Paz Kozas bailing out on that one. Guy 57.8. Rolles 58.2. Danis D with a 58.2 also. Literally 300ths of a second difference between those two. Arminis with a 58.4. Fizrukas 58.8. And there's Fizrukas parked up at the side of the road. Laisvidas 59.2. And then we've got Dariukas with a 59.5. Mr. J, haven't seen what he's done, but he is 3.1 seconds off the Simonas time. So that's well, if he's, it's not great, to be fair. Aldrich has done a 2:01. That's not super quick. The thing is, I don't know if this McLaren's very good around here. I think it's a little bit too twisty for this car, but you know. Arminis, there he is in the Supra, and Paz Kozas in the McLaren. So we are moments away from the start of this race, and I do apologise for the lack of game sound. For some reason, it has completely disappeared on me, and I have no idea what's happened. Everything is plugged in where it should be. Everything is indicating that it should be working, but it's not. And without climbing under my desk and unplugging and replugging everything else in, I can't fix it at this stage. So you're going to have to make do with the dulcet tones of my television in the background instead. Pain in the arse, but it is what it is. So Simonas is on pole, 57.0. King Bob, MT96, vying to cement a place in that top 3, is currently joining him, 1:57.1. He's in the GTR. This is a really, really interesting race actually between that BRZ, which is a phenomenal motor car, and the GTR. In a straight line, that GTR is like shit off a very well-oiled shovel. Oh, we've got a fan of Arminis in the room. How's about that then? Guy swapped out the 911 for this Mazda RX Vision. It's a beautiful looking car. can be quick. We are 1 minute from starting. He's currently on row 2. And he's got Timosius for company. Timosius, out of nowhere, chucks in a crazy-ass lap. Or did he? Oh, no, I think people have jumped in the pits to put on tyres. Maybe not. Danius D, he is currently sitting... Oh, what's going on? I know he's got in the pits as well. It's very difficult to see now because the problem we've got with PD is they decided that we don't need to know what people's lap times were, and it's not important information to leave up when they jump into the pits. So everyone putting on race-worthy tyres before we start here. Simonas is still the fastest man out there with a 57.0. We haven't seen a sub-57 lap in qualifying. Will we see a sub-58 lap in the race? That would be interesting. Would we see this kind of pace during the race? Not often it happens, but it would be awesome if it did. Keeping lubricated. Has MT96 just nicked pole position at the very death? That was phenomenal. He nicks pole with the very, very last second of qualifying. That was a great performance from him. So he's nicked pole position in that GTR. Simonas is going to have to start from second. 156. There's that sub 57 I was after. I said no one's going to give it to me, and I'm going to shake your hand, King Bob, because you've just given me the 156 I was looking for. Thank you very, very much. Everyone going to red X out of the room. I will do the same, of course. I'm not in, but I'm going to come out. I'm going to tick in and tick back out again. Not racing. Let everyone jump in, and I will jump in after them. Such a shame we've not got the sound of the game. What is occurring, man? What is occurring? And I apologise for the music in the background. My better half is obsessed with Christmas, and literally plays Christmas music as soon as, pretty much as soon as the Halloween's over. It's Christmas time in this house. It's a bit of a pain in the arse, but you know, it is what it is. I will get someone to turn it off in a second. Right, so we're just waiting for everybody to get in the room. We did have a couple of problems. We've got 14 runners. Oh, look at that, that's pretty cool, that car. I'm going to have a good look at some of these liveries because they do change quite often. My favourite one, obviously, is... Where is he? I've lost it. It's that one. I love the livery on that car. It's just so cool. You think Arminus is going to win this? I'd like to share your optimism. He's quick, but I think Simonas and Gidrazo and King Bob and Wendigo are going to have something to say about that. But I suppose the one thing is they haven't got to contend with Laisvidas today because he lived Laisvidas Loco and he drives like a demon, like a man possessed with just petrol for blood, and speed is the only thing he knows. Right, so we are away. I don't know why it gave me that really funny view, but it did prevent me from getting the wrong camera angle. So MT96 does get away well. Wendigo up into in third. Simonas holds on to second, but there is there's some people touching going through the S's. You've got to be so careful through there. Wendigo losing a place to Paz Kozas. Paz Kozas up to third place in that McLaren. So Wendigo down to fourth. Guy down to fifth place. Timosius is in sixth, also in that McLaren. Danius D, he is up into seventh in the, I think it is the GTR, isn't it? Of course it is. In the GTR. Ron is in eighth place at the moment. Fizz Rockus is in ninth, also in that GTR. Arminus in 10th place. So he's got a lot of work to do. Gediminas? Is that how you pronounce your name? If he's going to win this race, he's got a lot of work to do from there in that Toyota Supra. Dariukas running in 11th place. Manvidas in 12th. Mr. J in 13th place with the teeth on the front of that 911. And Audriox at the very, very back of the pack. But MT96 nicked that pole position at the death went sub 57, and here he is now in the lead. In terms of tyre choices, he has opted for the medium compound tyres. Simonas has opted also for the medium compounds. But let me tell you something about Simonas. If you haven't seen this boy race before, he doesn't rubber doesn't matter to him. He will drive on rims like he's just put on a fresh pair of boots. He can really get a lot out of his tyres. Paz Kozas taking the scenic route, but still in third place, also on those medium tyres. As we're coming up to the end of lap number 1, there's Wendigo, dropped to 4th on the medium tyres. He's got GR3 for company. These two are racing side by side. Is there a move on? I can't see the outside window. Oh, that's a bit of a pain in the ass. Can't see the outside window in that car. So Guy is up the inside. Guy makes the move on Wendigo, up into 4th place. The gap now between Simonas and Wendigo is a lot of points. That might almost be enough for Simonas to take the lead of this championship. But we've got a long way to go. It's only lap 2. This is a 24-lap race here at Suzuka. Timosius up to 6th place. He's got Daniel D crawling all over the back of him in that GTR. And when it comes to the long straight after the after Spoon, you're going to see that GTR, if it's still tucked up behind Timosius, he's going to have that GTR flying past him. There is Daniel D in the GTR. Rollis half a second back, 8th place. Fizrokas 9th. Dariukas 10th. Mr. J 11th now. Armin is down to 12th. He's dropping down the order. Laisvidas dropping much further down the order. He is 13th place. Aldrock still at the back of the pack. MT96 not pulling away from Simonas, but these two pulling away from everybody else. They have got a race of their own today. MT96, remember, is really, he's racing Simonas, of course he is, but he's also racing Guy. He wants to make sure that Guy doesn't jump into that top 3 and nick the spot off of him. Simonas equally will want to get ahead of MT96, because this at the moment will close the gap between the two of them. Paz Kozas running very well up there in 3rd at the moment. Holding off Guy, who got round Wendigo, and Wendigo, the current championship leader, who desperately needs a big performance today to put it in his own hands going into the final race. And that final race, remember, is 7 laps at the green hell. Fastest lap of the race, that is Simonas with a 1:59.4 on medium tyres this early on. That is some crazy ass pace as we just start lap 3 of 24 here at Suzuka. And it is a tricky circuit, and it can catch you out. There are times you go onto that green AstroTurf and nothing happens, and there are other times you just think about the AstroTurf going through and the back end of your car spins you off, Paul Walker style, into a post or onto a tree or into the wall or on the gravel. But MT96 currently leading the race. He's half a second clear of Simonas. Simonas just hunting him down. And he's got a map there you'll see on the car which is not of this track. So hopefully he doesn't get lost. Hopefully he doesn't look down at that map and go somewhere else. Trying to work out what track that is. Answers on a postcard, please. Is that Fuji? Or Daytona, maybe? No, it's not Daytona. It can't be. Oh, no, it's not Daytona. Can't work out what track that is. I'll work it out in a minute. I think it might be Fuji. It looks to me like that's Fuji. Yeah, it's got to be Fuji. So that'll be useful for a couple of weeks ago when they were at Fuji. So here is Simonas. He's closing down on MT96 now. Can he get a good slipstream out of here? This sort of double apex left-hander. MT96 does well. Can Simonas get a good slipstream? He's certainly a little bit closer. Not close enough though. Maybe Simonas is happy just to sit in there and save a little bit of fuel and let King Bob do all the work out there. But yeah, great start so far for these two. They have absolutely pulled away. So set out in stone their intentions from the outset, and their intentions are to get racing. Paz Kozas in 3rd place. Great start from him, holding off both Guy and Wendigo in those Mazdas. And that's allowing Timosius and Danis D, or certainly Timosius, who's just behind Wendigo, to stay involved in that battle for 3rd place. The battle is currently being won by Paz Kozas, of course, with 3.6 seconds back from the lead 2. Looking back down the order, Ron is in 8th place. He's 1 second behind Dana's T, but only just, and he's closing that gap already. 1.3 ahead of Dariukas. Mr. J opting for the soft compound tyres. Now, the only way those soft compound tyres are going to work for him is if he makes up some places. He's already made up a couple. He needs to make up 2 or 3 more for them to really be effective, because there's only a couple of laps left in those before he's going to have to pit. There's no more than 8 laps, probably only 7 realistically, in that 911 on those tyres at this racetrack. Fizz Rockus has gone for the hard tyres. He's going to run long in that GTR. I don't know if hard tyres are the right choice there. It's a track that requires a great deal of grip. Look, if you could, those hard tyres will work if you can stop this race by using them, and the other set of tyres you are very, very quick on. That's the only way I can see this working. Arminis has gone for the mediums. I think the mediums was the smart choice here. Laisvidas also on the medium compound, and Audrey to the rear also on the medium compound tyres. In terms of fuel, MT96 doing quite a little bit better actually than Simonas right now. MT96 just half a second up. Now, the question is this. Is King Bob, I don't know if to call him King Bob or MT96. King Bob, I prefer that as a name anyway. The thing is, I say King Bob, you know the whole talking about. MT96 is out in the lead here. Now, the question is he managing his pace to keep that gap at half a second? Or is Simonas managing his pace behind just to look after fuel, look after tyres, with a view for making a big jump later on? That's the big question. Now, I imagine that there is more pace in both cars. Certainly, don't imagine. There definitely is more pace in both cars. But it's whether they're managing the pace or not right now, in terms of the other guy, or are they just running their own race? That's the question. But at the moment, in the lead, 3/10 up from Simonas. They are already, we're on lap 5, and they're already 5.8 seconds clear of anybody else. This is currently a 2-horse race here around Suzuka. Paz Kozas holding off Guy in 3rd, but it's not an easy task, because there is Guy tucked in behind her, coming up towards the hairpin. Guy having a look round the outside. Is he going for the old switcheroonie? He's trying it, but Paz Kozas does close that off. But he's tucked right in there. There is definitely going to be an opportunity here with the slipstream. Can he make the move before they go into this double apex left-hander at the top of the hill? Again, Guy looking to the outside. He's going to get that turned in, try the old switcheroo again. This is where he's going to get on the power early. He wants to get in that slipstream and make the move. He's on the power. He's closing with the slipstream. And this could be an overtake. He needs to get it done. Paz Kozas trying to hold him off. There's the move. He comes down the side of him. Little wave. And in they go to this left-hander. Who's brave? They are both very brave. Guy goes wide though. Does that allow Paz Kozas back through? So Guy does go wide, but makes it into the chicane. And there was contact between those two cars. Was there any damage sustained though? Paz Kozas bullies his way through there at the chicane and back into 3rd place. He's having none of it. But look at Wendigo. That is absolutely tucked in under that wing of Gidrazo. And he makes the move here. Oh, I thought he was going to chuck it up the inside in the first of those S's. But he decides to back off right at the last minute. He's really tucked in there. This is a great battle between these three. And look who else is involved in the party. There's Timosius. Timosius looking to make a move on Wendigo. This is all going off. It's like a mass brawl outside a pub on a Saturday night. Or certainly one in London anyway. But all 4 of these cars driving on the edge. What a race from these guys. Guy just trying to find a way around Paz Kozas. And he does. And then Paz Kozas bullies him. Elbows out. I'm not having none of it, he says. And pushes his way back into 3rd place. And this is bringing everyone in. It looks to me that Guy and Wendigo have got a bit of pace, but are being held up here. And this allowing Timosius, who we know has a bit of pace, to get involved. What a move! I wasn't sure he was going to pull that off. Timosius saw them fighting, saw the gap and said, screw you lot, I'm off. And he took the opportunity and went through. And now we have another involved in the battle. Dana's D gets involved. Wendigo, where's Wendigo? He's got off. Wendigo's off the track. He's dropping all the way down the order. This has gone horribly wrong. Now, was there contact from another car there that put him in that position? And see, Mr. J has got 0 rubber left. Can he keep it on the track? Now, the question is, we're having a look at the other cars here. Has anyone got any damage? Or was that just a driver error? Looks to me like there was a driver error. That is devastating for Wendigo. He has got so much work to do now to get back into championship contention. So right now, Simonas is in the driving seat, literally the driving seat for this championship. He is only 3 tenths back from MT96. Pascozas sees the carnage behind, says, screw this, I'm off. And off he goes. Timosius is now 2.4 seconds clear. Guy and Dana's D still having a little fight there. But with Wendigo out of the way, the battle's just fizzled out a little bit. At one stage, we have 4 cars trying to vie for one spot on the racetrack. And big loser there was Wendigo, who finds himself way down the order. It's going to be a very, very difficult day for Wendigo. Ron is also further down the order. He's just pitted for new tyres. Audiox on the mediums, he's not pitted yet. Who else has pitted? Nobody by the looks of it. Mr. J, surely Mr. J's going in the pits now, because Laisvidas all over the back of him. He's got no rubber left on the front. Can he even make it to the pits without bidding his car? We'll certainly have a look now, because we're watching from Laisvidas, and Laisvidas will just sail through when Mr. Look, he's struggling to get that car turned. With the lack of rubber on the front of that car. So Laisvidas can just bide his time. He can see that Mr. J's struggling getting that car around the corners. But what a move that was from Pascozas and from Timosius. Pascozas elbows out. Timosius just said, while you lot are fighting, I'm just going to go down here. See you later. So he is tucked in behind. He's going to make this move on Mr. J. Mr. J is on the faster tyres, but there is no rubber left on them at all. Laisvidas not close enough to make a move. He's going to just have to settle in behind. But, without question, Mr. J is going to peel off here into the pits. So, the leaders still maintaining that same gap, but not the gap behind. The gap behind is now 9 seconds. They're on a whole different part of this racetrack now. Going through these S's at the beginning of the lap. It is MT96 from Simonas. They're 9 seconds back. Mr. Elbows, I'm going to call him, Pascozas, got his elbows out onto Guy and said, get out of the way, I'm coming through. And I'll tell you what, make an overtake there in that chicane is pretty damn brave. And then we've got Mr. up the inside, Timosius, watches the battle between those two Mazdas, sees them go wide and just tucks it nicely up the inside to take 4th place. Now, Guy is currently running in 5th place. He is 3.9 seconds clear. Little message there from Jay to the call to the black flag community, should we say. Guy now 3.7 seconds back. He was knocking on the door of place number 3. I was knocking on the door of place number 4, but he's not anymore. No more is he knocking on the door of number 4. He's 4.2 seconds back from Tom, but his tyres he put so much effort in trying to get round and has really done some damage to his tyres. Simonas, we'll be looking at pit window for these front runners on the mediums. Lap 10, I think lap 10 is reasonable. Maybe not for MT96, who has now lost out to Simonas. And going wide like that is the reason why Simonas has gone through. This is an even more devastating blow for Wendigo, because Simonas is now in the lead of this race. Not only is that 8-point deficit going to go, it's going to turn into a much larger credit for Simonas. drink on board. So we're in the pit window. Simonas is staying out, and rightly so. I think Simonas could have stayed out as well, to be fair. Don't know why he came in when he did, but he did anyway. So Simonas is 7.5, 8 seconds clear, but he does still need to pit again. He'll do another lap or two, maybe 2 laps actually. Simonas again on those medium tyres, took it to the end of lap 8. So pit window for him will be lap 16, as it is for MT96 is already 1.2 seconds back from Simonas. Now Simonas has been freed. We have uncaged the animal, and he is off. 1.6 seconds is the gap to Fizrokas, who muscled his way back into 3rd place. Just to think, a couple of laps ago, there were 4 cars going 4 abreast through corners, just vying for 3rd place. And now it's calmed down a little bit. Laisvidas has stayed out. He's really looked after his tyres there in that BRZ. Now, is that a problem for Fizrokas? Because Fizrokas, remember, is running on the hard tyres. Very, very well running on those hard tyres as well. Has to be said. And sorry, Pascozas still got his muscles out. I don't know what I'm talking about Fizrokas like that. Pascozas has changed to the medium tyres. Yeah, Fizrokas running in 4th. Ahead of Laisvidas, who's running in 5th. But Laisvidas' tyres, so fresh in comparison. He can 2-stop this on medium, or one stop this on medium tyres with that kind of wear. So he only needs to make it to lap 12 with those tyres, and he can 1-stop this race. I think we might have to watch out for this guy a bit later on. So currently it was Simonas. That's not going to stay that way. He's going to peel off into the pits. There he goes into the pits. Simonas will take the lead in this race. He's already opened up a 1.8 second gap over MT96, or King Bob as he is affectionately known. Fizrokas will stay out, of course. He's on those hard compound tyres. Laisvidas on those medium tyres, going to stay out almost as long as Fizrokas, and can, with those softer compound tyres, can he make a move here on Fizrokas? And maybe get the jump on him, which could aid him later on in the race. He's currently running in 4th. Danius D, there he is, running in 5th place. He has pitted. He's in the GTR. He's ahead of Simonas, who comes out on the soft tyres. So he's gone for a very short, very sharp, very quick stint on those soft compound racing tyres. Rollins has been in the pit, but he pitted very, very early, did Rollins, onto those medium tyres. Guy running in 8th place, just off the back of Rollins. There's a bit of a battle going on here, potentially for 6th. Now, remember that battle Guy was in not so long ago? That was for 3rd place. Now he's eyeing up 6th, but we do still have a few to pit ahead. Pascozas, he has lost out to Guy through that pit cycle, but that'll be because of the difference in fuel loads, which at the end of the day, you have to use roughly the same amount of fuel when you're racing, whatever happens. So that will change. So Wendigo down in 10th, we saw just how much he lost out in that battle. Did he lose it? Was he pushed? We will certainly have to have it. I think it will be certainly it will be looked at by the stewarding community to make a decision on that. I certainly think I'm going to have a little look on the replay after this race and see what happens, just for my own nosy interest more than anything else. But the pace dropping off for Wendigo now. He lost a lot of time on that lap, and struggling to get the pace back. Dariukas also in that Mazda, just 1.1 seconds back in 11th place. He's on the medium tyres, also running those for a 2-stop race today. Mr. J gone for the soft tyres again. If he's just running soft, he's going to be in the pits a lot. But has gone sub 2 minutes, which is a pretty good time for him. Actually, I think that's quicker than his qualifying time was, I think. Arminis running in 13th place in that Supra. No better than the 2018 for him, running in 13th, but he is ahead at the moment of Audriox with a 2:02.3 being his fastest lap. He's 53 seconds behind this man here, the current race leader. And as it stands, if the race finishes as it is, the new championship leader, 1:58.6 is his fastest lap time. He is starting to ramp it up. He's on the medium compound tyres. He has already stopped. He has opened up a 3.2 second gap from this man here. This man who stole pole position from Simonas at the very, very death of qualifying, and snatched it from Simonas' hands, and took that pole position and led all the way up to just before the pit window opened. He's now 3 seconds back, but these front two are 13 seconds clear of anybody else. So the battle for first and second is just simply between Simonas and MT96. No one else is getting involved in that battle. No one. Fizrokas 14 seconds back. He has built up a little bit of a lead, but not much, over Danish D, who's on fresher tyres. And Danish D up into the top three, moves into the chicane, takes that place from Fizrokas. Nice and simple. And Tom tucked in behind. And here we go. Fizrokas is finally getting rid of those dodgy tyres. So Guy will come through. Guy tucked in behind Tom, looking for a way around. He's in that slipstream. Tom trying not to let him in. He's going up the inside into turn one. How brave! How brave! Very is the answer. He's up into fourth place. Timosius can do nothing but drop in behind. So Guy now chasing down Danish D for a place in the top three. It's all about poems today, isn't it? I'm chasing down Danish D to get his place in the top three. And that's what Guy is all about today, is chasing down that third place, that coveted third place, because at the moment no one else is challenging for first or second, bar a crazy crash or a disconnection. First or second is already, they are locked out, they are done, they have been handed out already. The prizes that are left is third. That's the prize that's left. So Timosius dropping down to fifth place behind Guy. I say that, and then he makes the overtake up the inside into the hairpin. That was a phenomenal overtake there from Timosius. Having none of this being overtaken rubbish. He wants that place back, and he has taken it. But Guy going side by side with him. Is he going to retake this place into this double left-hander? Guy going to look for the little switcheroonie. He does look for the switcheroonie. He gets on the power up the inside line. Has to tuck in behind. Is there going to be a move on here? This is a great racing from these two. And I thought the racing was going to be out front. This is where it is. Out front is a procession. This is where the battle is. As we see Guy coming up behind Tom. He's not close enough to make the overtake. But he may well be. And that's another very, very wide there. That is exploitation, shall we say, of the track limits. As Guy doesn't get such a good exit this time as he did on the last lap. So he's a little bit too far back to make the same move this time. As Laisvidas into the pits for a change of tyres. So Timosius stays ahead in fourth place, chasing down Danish D. The gap is 1 second, not even that at the moment. What's Simonas' lead out front? 5.9 seconds, 5.5 seconds, sorry. 5.5 seconds he's got a lead now. On those medium tyres, he's going to run those. Well, he ran to lap 8 in the opening stint. He's just done a 1:58.3, which is the fastest lap of the race. Lap 16, lap 17, maybe lap 18. And then the really, really quick stint on the soft tyres, which is only, the soft tyres only lasting about 5 or 6 laps here. MT96, has he resigned himself to the fact, I mean, he's done a 58.9, so he hasn't resigned himself to the fact of anything. He is having a go. But does he have to accept that Simonas out in front is just so damn quick? And that his job at the moment is to stay ahead of the reigning champion. It's a bit of a shame because he actually hasn't been sort of in and amongst the championship contenders so far this season. So, being that he is currently the champion, of course, until the end of the race next week, it would be good to see him just picking up a podium or two along the way. So 15.2 seconds back from MT96 right now. Only half a second, though, ahead of that battle there, and that battle is still raging on. Guy moves back into 4th place. Timosius, what's he going to do? He can't hold him off at this stage. He's on the soft tyres, so he will have an opportunity to make another move on Guy, but he needs to get ahead of him in order to make those soft tyres benefit him in the best way possible. So he is in 5th. What sort of exit is he going to get here? Is there going to be a move into turn 1 for him? Rodders, 2.8 seconds off the back of that battle, and looking maybe for the two of them to have a coming together so he can get involved. And Guy does stay ahead. Timosius closing the gap, but it's not going to be enough into turn 1. So this time Guy is ahead, and he gets to have a crack at shutting down and closing down on Dynasty. Paz Kozas, Mr. Elbows, there he is. Elbowed his way back past Guy into 3rd place. Has come out though quite some way behind him in 7th. So all that hard work has not paid off for him. Wendigo was well in that battle until off he went, and it's really affected his race. He's 6 tenths behind Pascozas now. Definitely needs to steal some places here today, by hook or by crook, just to keep the championship alive. Look, I say the championship alive. It's not dead after this race. If he finishes where he has, the only thing is it's completely out of his hands at that stage. At the moment, it's in his hands. So if he can gain some more places, or Simonas has an absolute brain fart and balls it up, or a disconnection, then it's miracle or bust really. Unless he makes some significant on-track gains. Dariuka is running in 9th. Arminis back up into the top 10. 20 seconds behind that battle though, or that non-battle should we say. 13 seconds ahead of Uldrox. Manfredas is 1.2 seconds behind him, vying to put Uldrox behind him. Mr. J was faster at the beginning, now going not so quickly. 16 seconds back from Manfredas, and Fizrokas at the back of the pack, 13.5 seconds. But he is, I think, the only car going for the one-stop strategy. So 6.7 seconds Simonas has now over King Bob. Not a lot he can really do about it, to be fair. King Bob, his pace is good, but Simonas' pace is just better, and that's a sorry fact. But the pair of them are 17 seconds clear of any challenge from anywhere else. That challenge is currently in the form of Dynasty, Tom and Guy, and all three of these guys absolutely on it. We'll go on board with Guy, and we can see the battle unfold ahead. Does Tom make the move? He's certainly looking for it. He's tucked in behind now. Dynasty is looking vulnerable because the two cars behind him are very, very quick, and they have come for aggressive racing today. They have no intention of giving any quarter. Guy's tyres looking ropey as fuck, as are Tom's. So they really want to get this done because Dynasty, actually his tyres are pretty ropey as well. So while they battle, there goes Guy up the inside. Just didn't have enough to make it past Dynasty, but does get past Timosius. Tucked in though, that slipstream up towards the double apex left-hander at Spoon. He's going to make the move up the inside, which Dynasty is clearly going to block off. And look at that, it's a big send up the inside from Timosius, and he goes through. This is racing of a different quality to anything else, and Guy almost losing it, but he's got the slipstream. Although saying that, slipstream or not, Tom's also getting some from Dynasty up in third. And while these two battle it out, Dynasty is just laughing to himself because he's holding them off because they're actually battling behind. And Tom, does he go wide? He does. Does he keep fourth? He doesn't. Tom goes through. He hits the back of Guy there. So what is occurring there? So are they going to go in? Timosius, big mistake. Timosius decides lastminute.com to go into the pits. Left it too late. Lost his car. He is in big trouble now. He does finally make it in, but that is a devastating blow to his hopes of getting a top three in this race. And Guy struggling with those tyres. He is now up into third place. He got his wish to get in that top three, but GR3 has a lot of work still to do. He's got to get this car all the way around this lap with Pascozas right behind him. And remember, the last time these two had a battle, Pascozas got his elbows out and gave no quarter. Now Guy is on very, very worn medium tyres. Pascozas is on slightly worn medium tyres with a bit more fuel on board as well. Guy's got to keep an eye on that fuel gauge. This could be an epic battle in itself as they head up towards the hairpin. It's going to be about Guy's going to defend his line. It's going to affect his time as well. And he does just defend it. You can see that Pascozas was considering sending that up the inside, but thought better of it last minute. This is going to be a battle that I think is going to be won under slipstream in about 20 seconds. That's if he can close up. So into the first left-hander. He'll turn around for the second left-hander. He's not close enough. He's not close enough to make a move. And bang on cue, lap 16. In goes Simonas for his second and last pit stop of this race. He's going to come out again on the medium tyres in the lead. MT96 follows him in. What is Guy going to do? I think Guy's going to pit. Guy has to pit. He's got no choice. There's not much left on those tyres. Looking a bit ropey. We know that Pascozas is going to go through. So Guy will peel off as they go into the chicane. This time Pascozas doesn't elbow out into that chicane. Guy will come round into the pits. He goes. Pascozas back into third place in this race. So Simonas in the pits, MT96 in the place. I say he's in third place, he's currently in first, but he will be in third once he's gone into the pits. I think it depends on how GR3 does fuel-wise. So we are lap 17 of 24. We've seen some thrills, we've seen some spills, we've seen some very aggressive racing, we've seen brilliant defending, and now we're looking at Simonas, who's got MT96 right on the back of him. So MT96 opted to put in a bit less fuel that time out, and he's going to go for actually try to leapfrog him in the pit stop. Didn't work. Now the problem is he's got to try and push to get around Simonas. We know Simonas is just so quick. They are currently behind Pascozas, who will need to pit. Probably pit this lap. Could possibly go one more if he wanted to, but will probably come in this lap. So Dariuka's promoted up to fourth place. He's coming in the end of this lap. Arminis will also come in this lap. So there is Guy. He's got Rollins behind him. Rollins has been in. Daniel D has been in. So there's a battle going on there. Wendigo has been in. He's down to 9th place. Laisvidas not far from him, 1.3 seconds. So a lot of work for Wendigo to do, and I expected to be seeing a lot more of him today, but this is where the battle's been, to be honest. Not even with these two. Although Simonas trying to make a move on Pascozas. It's silly to make a move there. Surely, if you're monitoring the race and the people around you, you know that he's got to go in again, surely, right? Why would you make that, or go for an overtake or a risky overtake if the guy in front is going to pit? But maybe he doesn't know that. So Pascozas has decided not to go in. He's decided to stay out for one more lap. So he will be going onto the soft tyres. Can he hold off the charge of Simonas? Simonas looking for a way through. Just isn't one there right now. Oh, but they say that. Dives up the inside. He makes it move. MT96 makes the move. And off they go. Order is restored. Simonas in the lead. MT96 second. Pascozas missed the elbows. He's in third place. 17 seconds on Dariukas, who's in the pits. Arminis, what will he do? Is he going in? He's got GR3 crawling all over him. And he's got Rollins crawling all over him. As a side by side, they go through as Arminis into the pits. Guy's on the outside. Rollins on the inside. Who's got the big kahunas? Well, it looks like Guy. Or is it Danis D making a move in that GTR on Rollins up into 5th place? Danis D has come for racing today. Guy with a little wobble on the back end. He's back up into 4th. 34 seconds is the gap to Pascozas. Can Pascozas get out in front when he pits at the end of this lap? This 3rd place is still anybody's position. So anybody, Pascozas, Guy, Danis D, Rollins, maybe even Wendigo, if he starts to up the pace, He's got a lot of work to do it. But if he can up the pace, that could very well be his as well. But he's going to have to start upping the pace now because we're on lap 18 of 24. There is just 6 laps left. So these guys are now racing to the end. Paz Kozas is going to have to pit, and I think it's going to be quite detrimental to him, those tyres, because he's still got the straight to go. He's still got to get around this left-hander. He's still got to get through the chicane and then into the pits. And these guys are bearing down. And we've got Danish D doing everything he can to put pressure on Guy or close up on Guy and make a move. One stage they were being challenged by rollers. Both of these sellers said, no, thank you. We're having none of that today. And off they went. So there is Paz Kozas in the pits. This is going to be key. We're watching Guy. We're watching Danish D. These two will be coming around the left-handed. So bear in mind that Paz Kozas was in third when they went into the pits the first time round. It took him all of the second stint to fight his way back into third, and then he's gone into the pits again. So where do these guys pop out? So Guy comes round the chicane, followed by Danish D to complete lap 18, giving them just 6 laps remaining of this race. So Guy comes through. Does he take third? Yes, he does. Danish D takes fourth. Paz Kozas comes out. Where's Rollins? Rollins, I think, is ahead of him. So he comes up behind Rollins. He's got some work to do in 6th. Wendigo 3.3 seconds back now. So with a 1:59.6. Paz Kozas obviously did a 2:19. He's quite slow that lap. But that was his in lap. That's why. So this one will be slow as well because it's an out lap. We'll have a look in a couple of laps time and see what the pace is like. So Simonas in the lead of this race. 1.8 seconds over King Bob MT96. 34 seconds. That's an entire pit stop. They can both, if they want to, pit again. They're not going to. I wouldn't see why they would do that. But they can if they want to. They're ahead that 35 seconds to Guy in the RX Vision. But he is being challenged by the GTR of Danish D, the current reigning champion, who's only got 2 races left with that crown in his possession. 2 seconds back is Rollins. Was battling with them for a while. He's been floating just outside that kind of top 5 in the championship. Still can gain some good points today, particularly with people above him in the championship getting less points. And I'm going to have another look at where we are now in terms of the standings, because it's looking really interesting. Because Ron is currently 6th in the championship. He might just make enough points to jump over Laisvidas, who's gone on holiday. That's unless Paz Kozas makes this big move on Rollins. He's looking up the inside. He's making the move. It is McLaren versus McLaren, and Mr. Elbows, there he is, gets his elbows out yet again, muscles his way through. He's up to 5th place. So Rollins in 6th in the championship, 6th on the racetrack, and he's got Wendigo now just 1 second behind. Wendigo is starting to up the pace. He knows that his championship lead is about to be eroded, and the only thing he can do is in his hands is to get closer to those challenging him at the top. Those people at the top challenging him: Simonas, MT96, Guy. They're all in that top 4. So Rollins is his first target. Rollins in 6th in the championship. That's his first target. Then it will be getting past King Bob, or getting past Guy first actually, who is currently sitting 3rd. Then King Bob, who's currently sitting 4th in the championship. So big work to do. Did look around the outside there. Move not on. Is there an opportunity up the inside? There is an opportunity, and he's through. He's past Rollins. He's still got 3 places to make up just to get himself in that top 3. So there is your leader, Simonas. 4 seconds now is the lead of this race. He has been very dominant, along with King Bob. The pair of them have dominated this race from the outset and built a big lead over the rest of the pack. That lead being 34 seconds, a whole entire pit stop for the front 2 over everybody else. Guy up to 3rd place. Hasn't got it all his own way though. Danish D is hanging on the back of that Mazda and not letting go. And we know how good the straight line speed is in that GTR. And that is going to be of a benefit to him on these really long straights. And he is tucked right behind. Is there an opportunity with the slipstream here? He is definitely closing. Can Guy hold him off? not like you can really do when the car behind is just getting that much toe off of you. He pulled out a little bit too early there, I think. Another couple of seconds there, and he might have been quick enough to make that slingshot into the chicane. Can he get a good traction out here? This is key. If he can right close up, but he hasn't. Guy has opened up the gap, in fact, and not giving him the slipstream anymore to Dynasty. So Guy trying to consolidate that third place in the championship. He's currently third in the championship. He's currently third on the racetrack. The guy behind him, the guy 2 points behind him in the championship, is 1 place ahead of him on the road. So for him, this third place is very, very important. Paz Kozas, he is now ahead. He's ahead of Ronnie's. He's at 3.7 seconds ahead of current championship leader Wendigo. He's only 7 points clear at the top of the championship with just 2 races to go. Had an awful mistake before the first pit stop, which cost him the battle for third, and he's now down in 6th place as Wendigo, 3.9 seconds behind Mr. Elbows himself, Paz Kozas. Gap back to Rollins, 2.7 seconds. He's running in 7th. Can he make up a place here? I think he's going to struggle. I think the pace out front is just too good at the moment. Laisvidas running well in the midfield there, 8th place, 7.4 seconds back from Rollins. No real challenge from Dariukas behind, 3.8 seconds there. And as for no challenge from behind, Arminis is 16.4 seconds behind, running comfortably in 10th. Yet again, comfortably in 10th. 12 seconds clear of Fizrokas, who is running in 12th. MT96 opting to pit. Necessary? I don't know. He's going for the fastest lap point, isn't he? That's what he's doing. He's going to put the soft tyres on and go for the fastest lap point. He knows that he's got that pit stop in hand. He knows he wasn't catching Simonas, so he wants the extra point. And very, very wise. FC Paz Kozas off the racetrack, significantly off the racetrack. Wendigo running in 6th, Rollins 7th, Laisvidas 8th, Dariukas 9th, Arminis 10th, Fizrokas 11th, Timosius. Don't know what happened to him. He was so racy early on, but right off the pace now, not involved anymore. He's back in 12th place. Audiox in 13th, and Mr. J at the rear of the pack in 14th place in the 911. So 31 seconds now the lead for this man. He is dominating. But MT96 went in, put on soft tyres. He is after the fastest lap. It's currently 1:58.3. That was set by Simonas ages ago. Ages ago. But now we have MT96. King Bob wants that fastest lap point, and he's gone in the pits to get the tyres to help him do that. He knew he wasn't going to catch Simonas. He saw the gap opening up, and he thought, look, I've got a gap behind here. Let me get in there. Let me put some soft tyres on. If I can't get the points for winning on the racetrack, let me get one for being the fastest car. So we'll see if he gets that lap put in. 8.6 seconds behind is Guy. He's not fully away from Dynasty yet, but it's a more comfortable gap, shall we say. 1.8 seconds, 1.9 seconds. I'll tell you who's not comfortable though. That's Dynasty himself, because Paz Kozas is on a charge. He's 3.8 seconds clear of Wendigo. That's not going to change. I think if anything, that gap's going to get bigger. He's now tucked up behind Dynasty in the GTR and looking to make a move, maybe with a slipstream here. Do these guys still eye up a potential third place? We're on lap 22 of 24 here at Suzuka. We've got Simonas in the lead, 31 seconds clear of MT96, who opted to pit to get soft tyres to chase after that fastest lap of the race. He crossed the line, he won't get it that lap. That wasn't our lap. So next lap, this is he's going to have 2 shots at this, lap 23 and lap 24, to get the fastest lap he needs. It's 1 point, that's all it is, 1 point. So Simonas in the lead of this race and dominating. MT96 deciding to go for rocket fuel time. He's got the fuel on board, he's got the tyres to do it. Let's see if he can. Guy 10 seconds back from that. The gap to Paz Kozas is 2 seconds. So Paz Kozas has got around Dynasty. Dynasty sticking with him. I think it's going to be hard, the pace that Pascozas is on today. Solid sort of mid to high 2 minutes to sort of low 2:01s for Dynasty. Pascozas is pretty much now started to ramp it up into the 59s, although lap 22 was a slow one for him. Wendigo's not going to catch that 2, or is he? He was quick. He was much quicker last lap. If he basically needs a second a lap, and then he might be crossing him across the line, or passing him across the line on lap 24. But he's got to make up. He's got some time to make up yet. So here we go. This is Guy, 12 seconds back now. Let's go from the back and walk our way forward. Fizrokas is at the back of the pack, 12.8 seconds. Did he have some damage? So that's why he's put on the soft tyres. 13 seconds he's got to make up on Mr. J. 1.1 seconds on Audriox. He is 9.5 seconds behind Timosius, who is 10.2 behind this man here, Armanis. 17 seconds back from Dariukas. 3.7 back from Laisvidas, who's going to have to watch his fuel for the rest of this race, so might be vulnerable to Dariukas behind. Ron is running in 7th, 8.2 seconds further up the road, with Wendigo, current championship leader, for the next 2 laps, 7.7 seconds clear of him. But he is now making the move on Dynasty. Dynasty just dropping off the pace as he comes to the end of this race. Wendigo's made up that time. He's up into 5th. He's made the move. 4.3 seconds the gap to Guy. That's going to be some doing to get that. And Pascozas has taken the initiative here and is ahead of Guy. Guy he's got a fuel save. That's the problem. Pascozas on the soft tyres. He's got a bit more fuel. He's really put the pressure on, and Guy has just had to drop off the pace a little bit for tyre and fuel management. Now, there's still a long way of this lap to go. Wendigo behind. Is there an opportunity here for him to nick 4th place? Because Guy is really, really low on fuel. I think the saving grace of Wendigo is that his fuel is in a very, very similar position. And that position is precarious. Tyres-wise, though, he's got a little bit more grip than Guy. So if any mistake, and that is a place gain for him. Has he got the fastest lap yet? Of course he has. 1:57.1. What a phenomenal lap that is at race pace. 1:57.1. That's the additional point going to him. Simonas does finish this race though, 24 seconds clear. MT96 will come home in 2nd place. He's got the fastest lap to his name, the 1:57.1. But Simonas absolutely dominant today. Very, very alpha. No question who's in charge today with Simonas crossing the line. MT96 does a sub 57 lap on that one, 56.8 to make sure he got the fastest lap. Pascozas, here he comes in 3rd. He's got round Guy, and very well deserved there from Mr. Elbows. There will, I think, be someone looking at what happened when he overtook him in the chicane. Wendigo slides. Is he going to lose 5th place right at the line as he goes after Guy? Dynasty doesn't quite make it. My God, Wendigo must have shit himself then when he lost it on the last corner. He does just get 5th place. Dynasty in 6th. Rollins in 7th. Laisvidas will come home in 8th. Jesus Christ, that nearly made me shit myself. I wasn't even driving. Dariukas in 9th place. 10.8 seconds back. Armanis will finish us in 10th. Another further 12 seconds back. Here he comes into the chicane now. Then we've got a bit of a race behind there. Mr. J and Tom. 1.2 seconds in difference. Armanis comes home in 10th place. Here comes Timosius. He is 15 seconds back from Armanis. He's got Mr. J 1.4 behind him. A little slide here and he's in trouble. If he runs out of fuel, he might be in trouble as well. But he does cross the line safely. Mr. J in 12th. Audriox will come home in 13th place. There he goes across the line. And finally, last but not least, there is Fizrokas for 14th. So there we go. This is the man that's done it all. Simonas. Simonas has now taken the lead of this championship. And it could have been a bigger lead as we saw the guy he's just busted down to 2nd spin the car. Now, with that fastest lap, what does that do for King Bob? Well, it certainly propels him above Guy, who couldn't finish in third today, and that will give Paz Kozas a big boost in that battle in the midfield. And I've got to say, I say every week that the races are getting better and better and better. What a race that was! Right at the death. It was absolutely phenomenal. I think there are a couple of incidents going to need looking at. Paz Kozas on Guy into the chicane early on. Very muscly. Did he gain advantage by pushing the car is the question. But I'm going to have a look at it. But it's not my place to make decisions on that kind of thing. I'll have a look and I'll give my opinion maybe. But what a race that was. So thank you very much for joining us. This has been, as ever, great fun. We've got one race left. Would you believe it? One race left. And then so next week, we have 7 laps at Green Hell to decide who is the best GT3 Lithuanian Gran Turismo 7 driver. That's it. One race left. It's been an amazing 9-week roller coaster so far. Talking of roller coasters, there's a big wheel. And next week is the last race in this series. So thank you very much for being with me up until now. And I will catch you later. That's it. Thank you. I've been Adam Pirate. This has been Black Flag Racing TV. We are back tomorrow with the GR4 Lottery. And it's been emotional.